Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So this is Dr. Ellen Ennis. We are at 41,000 zombie kills, 9 months, 13 days alive. Things are going pretty well. We've got our nice little base here. Did we get any heli event at the end of stream? I feel like we did have one towards the end of stream. Like 1 or 2 days of when we wrapped up the end of stream. I could be wrong. I'm trying to go based on memory. Oh yeah, when we got back, the carrots are ready to be harvested. But I was like, because I stayed up very late, much longer than I normally go for stream. We stayed up till what was 7 a.m. my time. It's like, okay, look, it's like this is stuff I should do, but I needs the sleep. Do I still have the trowel on me? Oh no, we found a shovel. That's right. Because I want to make sure we keep the food coming. That way we're all situated, so whenever we have the get to like our next winter or whatever, we are more than ready. Let's put more potatoes in. Like, just forget the carrots. Let's just do more potatoes. So trying to be quick about this so we can get our push started for Rosewood. But we do got to keep the food supply going. That way we don't have to like stop and just figure out where food is or anything else later. So that should be just 2 of these pails should be all we need for this. So now the question comes up of what route we take down. That's being weird. We'll just do it here. Why can't I fill that? You want to talk about game? I was able to fill it here yesterday. Alright, sure. Not gonna ask questions. It's fine. Alright, I want to probably bring some... I need to move my camera. Sorry about that. My camera was like literally covering up how much stuff I had in my inventory, which is important information. Right, our water's full. We've got fish. I know I have more fish in the backpack sitting in our car. I do feel like... Alright, we gotta hydrate. I'm doing well. Just getting things started. So I do feel like I want to bring some food. In addition to what we already had, so let's grab some of each. Because I'm expecting these, this fish I grabbed, I'm expecting some of that to start going bad. Which you can still use it because our cooking is high enough. But you only get a fraction of the output when you, get it that high. Or when you use rotten food. Hey, Dying Brainstem. It's going pretty well. How about yourself? That's more than enough. We're good. How's our generator holding up? It's probably fine for now. Because like I said, I do know when we left off we had something like 4 or 5 days? Good, just had to pay $200 for a PC repair. Oof. I mean, I guess then the good news is PC repairs can certainly be more expensive than that, but still, ow. Just making ourselves this fish salad real fast. I got a bunch more fish in this backpack. It's all probably going to go bad soon anyways. Let's just gobble that down. I don't care. So I'm going to grab some of the fish out of here. Okay, so this is our next destination is Rosewood. Rosewood really only has 2 ways in that are meaningful. Is you have this north route and you have the south route. You can technically come in from the side here. I guess technically I could come in through the woods over here, but absolutely not. That's just not even worth joking about. This is the way we're going to come in just because driving the whole way around past Marshridge just to get in there, to me, makes no sense. So the routes I can consider is from here, this is where we're at, is this main drag here. So we can go straight on down, come around this way, and straight on through, which is probably the way we will take. Now, if we take that way I might poke my nose in the boot camp. I don't expect to find too much that we need at this point, but it'd be worth looking. Mostly, like, I don't care about these 8 buildings. It'd be mostly these 2 buildings here that I'm interested in. But we'll see. That's probably going to be overrun by trees. But yeah, so I think we're going to take this south route and just drive straight into Rosewood. Not make a whole thing out of it. So basically just follow the road and then the first right. Hey, Ogmama, how's it going? Alright, so I do know we have a storm coming, so the plan is, I mean, realistically, we're not going to reach Rosewood, and it's going to take us more than a day or 2 to get there. Yeah. Oh, hey, zombies in town? When was the last time we saw zombies in town? Y'all shouldn't be here. We cleared this place ages ago. I mean, the zombies are going to keep wandering in. It's just, as we kill more and more zombies in the area, we don't see them coming back in at all. Taking a break and watching some PZ. You know, playing... Oh, from playing some PZ to watch some people playing. Yeah, no, I know how that goes. I haven't done that with PZ, but I've certainly done that with Path of Exile in the past, where, you know, you do the farm for a long time, you're like, you know what, I just want to vibe for a while. Project Zomboid, just because these days I stream. Hey, zombies. Just because I stream, you know, I'm either streaming or I'm watching someone stream a lot of time. The whole participating in the community making sure you're visible and all that. And plus, their streams are awesome. Because there's been quite a few streams I very much enjoy. The Product Zomboid community. Was checking out Royale with Cheese for a while earlier today. See, now his stream was going because we, end of our stream, we ended up raiding him last night. A lot of times I wrap up before he gets going, so. Yeah, so with this push with Rosewood, kind of the way we approach these when we're going from city to city is we choose the route we're going along, and we just keep driving along that route towards the city, killing any and all zombies we see until we reach our destination. And we do that because what ends up happening is we will have to drive back and forth between, you know, that place and home a lot. So we want to keep the path as clear as possible so we don't run into zombies with our car in the middle of the night again and again. Because all that does is, you know, damage our car. Plus, if we don't kill them all, like, how are we going to kill them all? Alright, that's all of them are there. Looks like our character is getting pretty overheated. I've been trying to put off having to shed layers for a while, because layers of clothing protect you. But if we're just getting overheated rapidly, that's a problem. If you get too overheated, you'll start having problems where your character's like attack speed gets severely penalized and everything when you get really high levels of overheating. Your water use goes up, which isn't really that big a deal in all honesty. Not once you get your water situated. That saying, while I was in Royal with Cheese's channel, you know, I've been debating what our next challenge is going to be. And I kind of agree a lot with Cheese in the sense that, you know, people have been asking him to do the One Painful Year, or whatever it's called. And the big thing that comes up is like, well, the problem with the One Painful Year is if you turn the nights to like pitch black or whatever, for a viewer experience, it's absolutely god-awful. Because just staring at a screen that's almost pitch black except for a cone you can only kind of sort of see is not a good time. Like, I've had a number of people, you know, express concerns with that. So, figure we'll tweak that, but, you know, keep, like, the higher zombie AI. But Cheese also said, you know what? Like, not that it was, like, dismissing what we're doing here. Like, he 100% was like, oh yeah, you're doing a ridiculous challenge. It's like, I imagine without this mod here, and this one here, it would be extremely difficult. And I will agree, it's easier with it. I don't think I'd go so far as to call it extremely difficult. Like, honestly, the weapon condition indicator, I've gotten to the point I don't lean on it anyways. Like, when my weapon breaks, it breaks. I don't switch out or change my tactics based on that for the most part. And honestly, the one up here, like, the stamina I peak at, certainly. But the one I usually keep my eyes on is how we're doing so far as getting sleepy. That's one I actually do lean on. So he suggested, like, kind of, not outright challenge, but said, hey, you know what? Do a vanilla run. So I think, whether we win or lose this challenge, we might do a slight alteration on One Painful Year. We're just going to get rid of the, we're just not going to do the pitch black night, because like I said, that's more, it's crap for the viewer. I see those push-ups, I'll get that in a moment. So I'll probably alter that, so I'll get rid of the pitch black night, because I want people to actually enjoy the gaming experience. But, so I want people to enjoy the experience, and then the other thing I'll do is I'll go full vanilla, not a single mod whatsoever, and just see how it goes. Because kind of the argument was that knowing my stamina is getting low makes using the hunting knives so much easier, and I don't disagree with that. Like, certainly it does. But the number of times I've gone moderately exerted, immediately switched the knife after the Moodle showed up, and just, you know, immediately brought ourselves back under. Like, you know, I don't think it'd be that big a deal. So I'd like to test in to see how it goes. I might also do a stream at some point where we just do some experimentation, we do some science. Because I hear a lot of people talk about like the short blades where they go to do that execution animation and then getting bitten by the zombie that they're executing. And we've tried to recreate that, but I think I want to go to an extreme of actually taking our character, getting ourselves all exhausted, getting ourselves sleepy, low short blade skill, and just basically doing execution after execution animation and see if we can recreate that. Because I've heard many people I trust say that it's happened to them, but we've executed literally thousands of zombies and never had an injury. So I am curious if, like, basically my theories are there's two of them. The first theory is that was a problem and it's been fixed, like quietly fixed at some point, and it's not a thing anymore. That's theory one. Theory two is that there is some type of penalty, whether it's you're super sleepy and your combat speed is slowing down. There's some combination that does cause it to mess up. And then Strider 48K says, 16 times is rough. I was overwhelmed in Muldrow. I started 1x, going to 16x in Muldrow, and in the end I could barely keep them back. Riverside and Rosewood should be manageable. Also, hello. Well, first of all, hello. Yeah, so 16x pop, if you have respawns on, just know you are basically going to be trying to hold your ground to have anything at all forever with respawns on. It won't be until you start getting to like 8 and 9 weapon skill that you'll actually be able to make any progress. And if you go high pop, even at the super high weapon skill, you probably won't be able to. Because the thing to keep in mind is, by default, the respawns every 72 hours will respawn roughly 10% of the zombies in an area. Some fudgery there with like areas you've seen. It's not exactly 10%, but loosely 10%. So if you end up in an area that's a decently high population like Muldrow, you're talking you will have to kill like 4, 5, 6, 700 zombies every single day to stay ahead of respawns. And if you go someplace West Point, you're talking probably over 1,000 every single day to keep ahead of respawns. And that's not even taking into consideration migration. Hey Lulu, how's it going? So just know, if you have respawns on with 16x pop, you are probably going to have like your little area you live in, and you will never be able to really be able to push them back. Because we've done those kinds of runs. You're in those runs, you are just a 100% perpetual meat grinder. You'll also, unless you're at like a warehouse where you have lots of tools or whatever, you will probably simply run out of weapons at some point. And, you know, at that point, that's effectively the end of your run. You know, barring you just run out into the middle of the woods where there's no zombies. I'm doing pretty good myself. But yeah, so if you have respawns on at 16x population and you haven't like tuned down the respawns, like how many respawn or how often they respawn, you are basically signing up for a permanent meat grinder wherever you are based. That's just the unfortunate reality is, even at maximum weapon skills, unless you just have a dozen katanas sitting there, the zombies will out-respawn what you can feasibly do on your character each day. Hey! Next level tabletop, how's it going? Let's see. Hello. Do you think the luck skill is good? Yes. So, the luck skill actually goes into a lot of things. Like, my understanding is it increased the chances of you having, like, a katana show up or a machete show up in a zombie, so you get, like, that kind of loot has a higher chance of happening. You also have certain other things, like the chance of getting better conditioned crafts and all that I've heard is a thing. I haven't verified that personally, but I've heard that's from the thing from people I would have a certain amount of trust in. Like I would trust them if they said that's the thing. I should have said it the first way. I shouldn't have said it that way the first way. But the point is, if they say it, I would trust them as a source. Even then, you just approach it as you get more loot. It's also not a particularly expensive trait. So even if you're only getting like 20% more loot, that 20% more loot could be very meaningful stuff. Yep, day is going well. Just getting started on our stream, only 30 minutes in. Starting to make our way to Rosewood, little by little. I'm gonna drive past them and kill them from the other side. But yeah, and you can certainly do a run where it's 16x pop with normal respawns, and then the whole idea is you just situate yourself in a highly defensible position and just hold. But yeah. Alu says, man, tried my first playthrough, completely lost with the skills. As in, like, what traits to choose? Sorry, I'm just trying to understand specifically what the catch is, see if I can't help you in some way. And also, Booty Paper, dropping 1,000 points, saying get these points out of here. They're heavy, I don't want to get exerted. Let's get rid of them. I've been half tempted now because I was talking with Royal with Cheese on his stream before our stream, and he was mentioning that, you know, this mod here, the middle display bars and my weapon condition indicator make things quite a bit easier. And I'm not going to disagree with it, but I'm partly like, all right, kind of want to turn them off. I want to see how much I'm leaning on them. There should be ones I should be able to just safely turn them off mid-playthrough without a problem. I wonder. Let's see. Sets that off. Yeah, no, it's like, I really like them, but it's like, is it helping me survive is the question. Let's see. Lulu says, I followed a character build and I'm trying to look at what to do first. What I need to do is level up. What I need to look at running for loot runs. Okay, so what I would recommend is when it comes to you first starting to play the game, don't worry about, oh, you know, I need this skill leveled up, or I need that skill leveled up, or whatever. I would go, what do I need to survive? You know, step 1 is water, step 2 is food, step 3 is a place to sleep at night. Then you get to, like, the generators, the magazines, that kind of stuff. Worry about those. Most of these skills you will start to level by just playing the game. And then you'll sit there and you'll have a need going, oh, I need a place to actually stay. Like, oh, this building's too small, let me build it out more. And that'll get you start knowing what skills to use, because you'll be like, oh, I need more space. Well, let me build more space. That's that's carpentry. Like, just kind of approach it of, at this moment, what does my character need to live X more hours? Like, what is the thing that's going to make us live a little bit longer? And deal with that first. And after that, I said, I always have them in my playthroughs, and I rarely look at them, to be honest. Yeah, that's what I think, Booty Papers. I think at the beginning I was watching this super carefully and this super carefully, but I'm actually sitting there going, you know, the only one I feel like I watch really carefully is my fatigue, which is how sleepy you're getting, because drowsy is scary. I do look at endurance a bit, but the other one's not so much. Like, there's hardly any other ones I've really leaned on at any meaningful level. So I'm wondering if I, like, turn them off, like, how much of a difference it'll feel like. The greater data, I feel like minimal display bars is really nice just to understand how mechanics stats even work. So if you turn them off, you'll still be alright off since you understand the mechanics and set. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Especially like the calorie bar. And like, if I can just hide this, like that might not be bad. Because if I can hide this, is there an easy way to hide all display bars? Okay. Yeah, so if I can hide all those bars, so the mod still loads, so if I need to show people stuff, then I can go, okay, let me show you this. So yeah, we're effectively going to play without those mods enabled, even though they're technically loaded, and see how that goes. Let's see. Next level tabletop says, for sure, don't starve, don't get bit, everything else will come. Yeah, no, 100%. When you're especially starting the game, just go, in my moment, what can I do to increases my chances of survival? Get better weapons, find food, find water, find a place that I have more than one door to the outside, like that kind of stuff. Like, do that first. Oh, and Strider's saying, I wrote a guide on Reddit for new players to mention me and I'll whisper it to you. Hey, cool, awesome. Good to hear. Like, if people go and they check out that guide and that guide's good, like, I don't know, because I'm not going to look it up in the middle of stream. Feel free to link that in the Discord in the Project Zomboid channel. I would be more than happy to like pin that for beginners who are hopping in there. Darkstrider says, burglar trait is a beast and lets you hotwire cars and adds a boost to your nimble. Yes, nimble is amazing. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like that'll... Sound? Sound game? Sound? Oh, there's just no wind. That just shows you how often there's wind. I was like, I'm not hearing wind. What's happening? Like, I legitimately thought the sound was just broken. Oh, gotcha. I wanted that in the Project Zomboid channel, but that's fine. I can put it there after stream. It's fine. And someone I thought cashed in a hydrate. Yes, they did. Yogg did cash in a hydrate. So I'm going to hop in my little Kari car up here. Going to do that hydrate, and then I'm going to get those push-ups. Your old man is playing a Western... Oh, goodness. Don't read in chat. Or don't read chat and drive. That was 1 or 2 zombie kills we'll never get. It's fine. Are you... What are you? Why are you just a giant horde in the middle of the road? I was expecting to see the large bag in the middle, because it looks like that kind of horde, but I don't... I mean, we've been down here before, so there's a good chance we just pulled them from wherever they were here and just abandoned them forever, but... Yep, Pankraru, 41,000 kills, and counting. Alright, clearly we've gotten to the point where, we're no longer dealing with areas that are cleared anymore. Which makes sense. We rode through here really quick. I think this is when we were looking for our first generator we ran down here. Or maybe it's food or tools. I can't remember. We came down here for something at some point. I think it was actually food. Hey, Foxmouse, how's it going? Alright, new plan is we're not going to worry about driving anywhere for a minute. We're just gonna kill the zombies around us. There's a whole bunch back in these trees, so I just want to keep killing all these zombies. We are just slowly working our way to Rosewood, per the usual. Let's see. Next level tabletop says I never really use short blades or anything other than stealth kills. You like them as a weapon? Yes. So short blades. So like right now, every weapon kind of has their niche they hold up on. Now, if I were to go into this horde and just start wailing out with the crowbar, we'd probably go into moderate exertion, possibly even high exertion. Probably moderate exertion if we're being real. And the problem is when you hit moderate exertion, it's like a 20 or 30% damage penalty. High exertion, even worse. So you can imagine that just means I'm having to hit zombies 30, 40% more times, which means I'm using that much more stamina and endurance. So, like, really burning yourself out. Versus the short blades, other than the meat cleaver, the short blades use almost no stamina. Like, I can recover stamina using a short blade at this point. So, I use the short blades for when I'm fighting giant packs of zombies, so I never have to worry about exertion. Well, not never, but very rarely have to worry about it. But I do switch back and forth a little bit. And Rubafate says, Rawl, send help. What do you got going on there, Rubafate? Yep. Short blades are the opposite of the sledgehammer. That said, short blades can still get to the point, like once you start getting high up, they will start one-shotting stuff. Right now we're at the point we two-shot stuff pretty reasonably, and then when we don't, we three-shot stuff. Again, assuming we're not exerted, sleepy, or whatever. I don't use Wallpaper Engine, so I couldn't tell you. My understanding is Wallpaper Engine just allows you to put images or animated stuff or graphics as your background wallpaper. I personally never use anything like that just because it's using resources, and I want to keep all my resources for game and stream and all that. You could try changing whatever your wallpaper is, try restarting wallpaper engine. Those would be the things that I would probably go for first, but I don't know. Let's see. Imager Smirk says... Gotcha. Imager Smirk says, new shirt day. How many push-ups have we redeemed so far today? We are up to 20 push-ups so far today. And I don't think I've worn the same shirt twice on stream so far. That's almost certainly going to happen, but still, so far. I think it's the first shirt I have worn that's not orange. I'll kill that group up there. They're gonna go and walk on the road sooner. Gotcha. Yeah, I have no idea because I don't use Wallpaper Engine, so I couldn't answer the question. Generally, I find all those things, like, because those have been around since, like, the mid-90s. Those types of applications that do stuff like give you animated backgrounds for your wallpaper. And they always end up being just a resource hog. Like, they're cool. Like, don't get me wrong. It's cool having all sorts of, like, animated backgrounds, that kind of nonsense. But I've always find they gobble up resources, and generally I'd rather use those for what I'm playing or whatever. Let's see. Ruby says, by the way, I had to install all my mods and reinstall PZ just to get started. Ouch. Something clearly didn't install right. Eek. Next level tabletop says, solid color black is the way I've been doing it for decades. I have like an image background, and like honestly, for a while I had Bing has a thing where you can have it where it changes your background to just like a photo or whatever. I did that for a while. Right now my background, I believe, is just, yeah, it's Elite Dangerous. It's just a really cool space screenshot I took in Elite Dangerous, but it's just a static image. Foxman says, have you ever considered a dual system setup for streaming? I have. I do actually have a computer that was my previous computer that the video card is not great in. Like, it's a good video card, it's just been heavily used. So I have debated that. My concern is that if I do set that up, I have to run another network cable on top of what I already have. I have to do all the extra stuff. And so I'm like, you know, I probably don't need to do that. But, like, there's certain advantages to it. Ah! New shirt for you. Gotcha. Background. Gotcha. You've got an image from Magic the Gathering. Nice. Static image from the Mandalorian. Good choice. Good choice. Part of me wants to just use the short blades now, just period. With like turning off where I can see the stamina, I'm like, you know, I could just short blade. They are two-shotting. Like, if we're being honest here, the attack speed is faster than the crowbar. I'm two-shotting pretty reliably, sometimes three-shotting. The range is slightly smaller, but I end up having to switch to it anyways. Oh, I still get the down arrow. Oh well. I was trying to turn it off, because like I said, before stream I was talking to Cheese, and he'd made the comment, like he was, like he first was like, this isn't dismissing your run or anything, like you're doing a ridiculously hard run. But he was like, just for the comment of like, me where I lean on short blades, that he felt the weapon condition indicator as well as the minimal display bar mods helped me out a lot. I'm like, you're not wrong, but I feel like I don't rely on it too much. Yeah, now if you're dealing with really high populations, knowing that you can fall, like honestly, even when you're not doing that, having short blades to fall back on the moment you're getting to the edge of exerted. So like the idea is, if you feel like you're getting ready to be exerted, switch, like don't wait. Or if you see like you just... Alright, well we got a raid from Royal with Cheese, so I'm going to get a shout out there. So Royal with Cheese TV, excellent times. Thank you for the follow, NT911. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, so how was your stream? I was there like just an hour ago. But I was curious. Thank you for the follow, R4KX. Welcome to stream. So I was curious. You mentioned the middle display bars and the weapon condition indicator. I'm like, you know, I wonder how much I am leaning on those, because I feel like the weapon condition indicator I'm not, but then it's like the middle display bar. All right, I'm gonna have to just keep up with this. Thank you for the follow, Juicy Cannonball. Thank you for the follow, Virus John. Welcome to the follow, Zandor. Thank you for the follow, Dark Moriarty. Thank you for the follow, Hot Poots. Welcome to the stream. But yeah, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna, like, because I don't trust removing a mod in the middle of a run. Like, my concern is it would break everything. So I was like, you know what? Let's just turn off all the indicators. So it's still on, but I can't see it. Thank you for the follow, One Mishu One. Thank you for the follow, Warrendell? Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. Please let me know and I will correct it. So yeah, we've been thanking the follows, Sir Computer. Welcome to the stream. So yeah, so I've actually turned those off as much as I can. So I still get like the little down arrow. I'm like, you know, I just want to see how much we're looking at. Oh, we're drowsy. So it's time to turn around. Thank you for the follow. Hoots Madouche. Welcome to the stream. I debated not saying that name. But yeah, I wanna see how much I'm leaning on. I do think, after talking to you and all that, like, you know what? Next run we will do like the one painful year as well. Turn off the electronic equipment, use the force. Yep. But I do think we will do for the next run is I will do a one painful year without the darkness, because again that makes for terrible watching. Ah, Warren Dell. Yep. And as someone who used to work in IT, I can absolutely appreciate that. And before I built my own computer... Hey, you're not supposed to be here. We just cleared this area. I'm also coming to the realization that, like, I've been using this crowbar, and I'm going, you know, it takes me most of the time 2-3 hits to kill a zombie with a crowbar, even at the skill it's at. You know, we get the occasional one shot. And I'm like, but my knives, I'm killing them in 2 hits, sometimes 3. So if we're talking like statistical averages here, the knife is more effective than the crowbar. So why am I using the crowbar? Colo cashing in on some push-ups. I will deal with that in a minute. Now I guess we're about 2/3 the way towards moderate exertion. Just by feeling. I'm gonna have to play catch up with chat. Okay, let's see. Yeah, you're going with vanilla and just pillows. And yeah, I think I'd probably do the exact same thing, because I don't think I want to play the game without pillows, with the only exception of it's very specifically a map they're like, no, you want to spawn here. Like with the really CDDA, that kind of thing. Let's see. Sandor says, hey, Raul, give us a short review of your build, etc. if you don't mind. Cheese told us a few things already, and it would be great to get some from you. Sure, I can do that in just a second. Let me play catch up with chat, and I'll do that. So I owe 10 push-ups, Colo. I'll get that in a moment. Danny Azda says, I guarantee whoever came up with the one painful year isn't thinking about streamers with the darkness setting. Absolutely. No, I agree. Have I ever played State of Decay? Yes, I played the first one a heck of a lot. The second one I barely touched, not for any reason like a problem with or whatever. I just never got into it. Warren Dell says, I actually think it was to sabotage the people getting poor stream quality. Inside job. Royal Cheese says, it's supposed to be require the random spawn, so I'm going to try to adhere to the rules as much as possible, but the night brightness is terrible for use. Yeah, that's the exact same thing. And like I do a thing where I put a filter on OBS to make everything about 20-25% brightness higher, because I know I keep my settings much darker than most streamers, but that's because I want night to be meaningful, but I put the filter on to make it still good for viewing. At least people seem to. So this is what the infamous Rawl looks like. Not gonna lie, I expected you to be a lot more nerdy. Anyways, how have you been? I've been doing great. Anyways, so the first thing I'm gonna do is gonna go over my build, because that was asked, and then we're gonna get the 10 push-ups I owe. So the way I start almost all my runs is what I do a run that we started calling Zero to Hero. And so the idea is I start weak, unfit, and obese, and then I also have slow healer. And what that means is when I pull up this skill pane, I'm gonna drag it over here so it's not being covered up. We start with 0 fitness, 0 strength, 0 anything. There is nothing on this entire skills pane. Completely empty, nothing here at all. Needless to say, when we first start, we hit a zombie like 6 times and our person they need to take it down a breather. They're winded, they're tired, can't really do much, super, super exhausted. But, that said, over time we have worked our ways up to being stout, fit, and perfectly healthy. But one of the advantages you get with that is we get a whole bunch of extra stuff. And before someone goes, actually, this build could be a lot better if you went and took this other trait over this other one, this is a bad build. It doesn't matter if you're a new player or a veteran, this is a bad build. That's just the way it is. It's not a good build. So, don't worry about min-maxing because it's a terrible build, and that's partly by design. But we have Cat's Eye, which lets us see in the dark, Dexterous, which lets us loot faster, Outdoorsman, which means we can ignore a lot of weather situations until they get extreme, Wakeful, which is just nice because I do 1-hour days, so we get to be awake longer. Even though it messes up our sleep schedule, which I find extremely frustrating, it's still very useful. Lucky, it does a lot of things, just think more loot, but, you know, it does a lot more. Eagle Eye, which is when we look at our vision cone, it makes it wider. Fast Learning, which makes me gain levels and skills just shy of twice as fast. Keen Hearing, which you'll notice there's this little area I can see behind me. That's to simulate your ability to hear. It makes that bigger. To me, if I could only have one positive trait in the entire game, Keen Hearing would be it, because seeing a zombie behind you and getting like that extra half second to react to it is life and death. Organize, which means I get more inventory space and stuff like backpacks and cabinets. And Thick Skin, which gives me the tiniest little chance that when we take a hit, I might just not get hurt, or I might get a lesser injury. I actually don't know the statistics behind it. I know people have been, that's actually a really poor use of skill points. You're probably not wrong. But I set this build up, and I pretty much don't change it. But anyways, so this has gone really well for us. We are at 41,255 zombie kills at 9 months and 13 days on 16 times population with multiple helicopters, no respawns. On top of that, you'll notice my favorite weapon is the hunting knife. So where people tell you that you just cannot use blades safely, you can. You just have to be mindful. That said, I have had lots of people report that they have gotten killed doing the execution animation. I have done it thousands of times and not run into problems, so I am very curious what causes it and why I'm not experiencing that in other Rs. My assumptions, and I actually mentioned this at the beginning of the stream, is that one of two theories is, I have two theories running. Either one, it was a problem and some change happened that no longer makes it a problem, or what they did is there's certain combinations of things, like whether it's moodles or something else, that there's some circumstances at which point the animations mess up and you get killed. Now, I've done some testing, but I've been unable to, repeat it. The closest I've come is somewhere, like we went perfectly smoothly, and somewhere, hey, metal bar, I'll pay attention. Somewhere around Shortblade 5, we had one day in game that repeatedly, time after time after time, I was trying to execute zombies and we were shoving them off. And it happened like 10 times in a row. To the point that I was legitimately freaking out going, what's happening? But we didn't have any negative moodles up here. We weren't tired, we weren't exhausted, we weren't depressed. And it got to the point I actually restarted the game because I'm something is not right and it's going to get us killed. Alright, we're going to come back and kill these zombies. Because we're already drowsy, it's not worth taking the risks. Ruby says, send help, Rawl. I'm over 3 gigabytes in save files and Project Zomboid and still counting. Yeah, you do at some point need to start deleting your old saves. I put that off forever, but didn't go to it. Let's see. Rube Fate says short blades and build 40 and 41 seem to be a million times better than my experience with short blades in 38 to 39. Royalty says sounds to me like you encountered the bug but fought off instead of catching damage. Yeah, that's what we had discussed. And like it happened like 10 times, and so it is entirely possible that just we had absurd luck with RNG. That is possible, but yeah. I'm having problems keeping up. Xander says, Raw, I was playing for an unknown reason at 4161 version, and was getting that knife bug. Once I changed it to the latest, I haven't seen it again. High chance it's related to this. I am thinking that there was either it was a bug that got fixed at some point, and so where people are saying, oh yeah, that happened to me. It is information from, a number of runs ago on the previous version, that kind of thing. And that kind of information usually takes a while to get updated, because once you've run into that where you've gotten killed doing something, especially in a game like this that really makes you want to not take risks, you're not going to take those risks again. And as such, you'll effectively hold on to that. It's like the thing where you still have people going around with saying, did you know if you put a television in front of stuff that the zombies can't break it, which was once upon a time true, but isn't true anymore. But yeah. So it's one of those things that getting the information out there the first time when it was correct is easy, and then correcting that information after the fact is very difficult. Let's grab a gas can, top off our generator. So I'm thinking that's probably the one it is, because like I said, I've done some testing where we're like super tired and exerted and all sorts of stuff, and we do perfectly fine. So I'm not sure what the cause is. But I find it hard to believe that it's like at a perfectly good health or whatever, it can happen or does happen reliably. Because sorry, I let off the push talk. Because when I say I've killed thousands of zombies with the execution animation, like that is not an exaggeration. I wouldn't be surprised if 10, 20, like probably 10, like 10% of these zombie kills are executions. Let's see. So, Roofate says, I remember, Raul, you told us a while about you were playing with Tomb, about how the day they make the river water lethal, the majority of Project Zomboid players are going to suddenly die. Too many out-of-date Reddit posts, but yeah, same time, it's kind of good that there means the devs are updating regularly. Yes, I agree. Oh yeah, and for those who haven't heard, and I'm sure if you're on Cheese's stream as well, you've probably already heard this. For those of you who have had the information, that is still true at this moment, is I can right-click, choose drink, and you're fine. That is going away. So break that habit. That water is no longer going to be safe. So if you're in the habit of doing that, stop. It will get you killed. Oh crap, don't be all full. Okay, we got some space. Alright, anyways, I owe 10 push-ups, so I'm going to knock those out before I forget. Yeah, I have a feeling there's backstory that we don't know. My hypothesis is there was a stream somewhere, and I have zero evidence to back this up. There was a stream somewhere where someone was like trying to cash in and going, I'll show my feet for $1 or $5 or $10 or whatever. And that Twitch was like, alright, nah. And so they made a sweeping rule for it. That's my theory. I have no basis for that. Why can I not salad eat? Oh. I'm guessing the fish rot. That's fine, we'll just add broccoli and suddenly we can eat again. Because that's science. Feet reveal when raw? No. Do GoFundMe for push-up slippers? I mean, it's not a problem. Like, I could just go out. Like, I actually have, like, diving booties and all that. I just don't want to wear those for 11 hours, and with how aggressively my chat, turns around and is like, do your push-ups. Which, actually, thank you for. But with how aggressively they do it, I would not want to take them on and off. Like, I actually, for a little while, was wearing the socks just out of fear that you'd catch my feet in the bottom of the camera. Because it is one of those things that, you know, this isn't my livelihood or anything, but it's a possibility that could be. So is this all rotten now? I think this is all rotten now. Mmm. Big old pile of rotten fish. Yeah, no, I could do something. I probably wouldn't go through that effort, honestly. For that. You know what? I don't need to keep this. We live on the water. Here, have my round fish. Because, like, we get enough food here that I can just pull up more. Food has been a non-issue this entire run. Alright, we're getting close to time for sleep. Alright. Oh yeah, I forgot about you. I'm just going to eat you and get you out of my life. Oh yeah, so we have no mods that are affecting loot tables in any way, shape, and form. Like, honestly, having turned minimal display and weapon condition indicator off so you can't really see them, even though they are technically on, really, we're almost vanilla. Like, they're technically there, but... And I do understand starting a fresh run before I have any stats with those mods turned off would be a very different experience. Bah. Well, there goes a light bulb outside. And I, basically because I'm too lazy to go through and choose individual ones, I just choose random until I see the same vegetable twice. Because I am lazy, and that is canon. World storage. How did you manage to get a tile of half dirt, half grass? The ground does weird things. And I'm pretty salty about a lot of them. What was I doing? I was grabbing something. What was I grabbing? I was grabbing a light bulb because I just heard a light bulb burst out there. Yeah. I will say, like, and this isn't exclusively of Florida, you go to places that have a humid climate, and it almost doesn't matter what you do with clothes. It just cuts right through. Thank you for the follow, Pistol Shrimp. Welcome to stream. Thank you for the follow, 8 Dominate. Welcome to stream. Alright, we're past midnight, so we go sleep. But yeah, I've had people who are like, there's no way you're not cheating. You have to have your loot turned up.